I'm Eliza, and today we're going to do a few personality tests. I have 3 personality tests that we're going to do. All of these tests are guided visualizations. So I'm going to ask you to imagine a scene or a situation, and the details that you come up with supposedly will relate to an aspect of your personality. I don't know how accurate these tests are, but they are just for fun and for relaxation. So let's begin. I'm going to read them out from my phone. The first one that I have is called the Island Imagination Test. The Island Imagination Test. So let's begin. Imagine yourself on a piece of land, and the land is surrounded by water. It's surrounded by water. Picture this with as much detail as you can. What kind of terrain is the land made of? Is it solid? Is it sand? Is it dirt or concrete? Is it like grass? What kind of land is it? What is the terrain? What kind of terrain is the land made up of? So picture yourself on the land. How far away are you from the water? Are you right next to the water? Are you on the beach or the shore? Or are you quite far away from the water? And imagine the water. Really picture it in your mind's eye. Imagine the water. How calm or active is the water? Is it crashing waves? Is it gently lapping at the shore, perhaps? What kind of water is it? Is it active or calm? Now get a detailed vision. Imagine a detailed vision of yourself getting into the water. So imagine yourself stepping into the water. You're going into the water. And imagine feeling the water against your skin. Can you feel the water? Feel the water against your skin. What kind of temperature is the water? Is it cool or warm? Is it a comfortable temperature? Do you find it pleasant or unpleasant? Or is the temperature a shock to you? And how much of your body is in the water? Are you fully submerged? Are you standing with your feet on the ground but the water up to your neck? Or are you far out to sea and you're swimming? Or have you just got your feet, your toes under the water? How much of your body is in the water? Now you get out of the water and you imagine a cup sitting on the ground. You pick it up and you put water inside it. What is the cup made of? What kind of material is the cup? And what kind of colour is it? Is it see-through? Is it opaque? Is it plastic, glass, wooden? Is it metal? Is it a cup that you have created yourself on this desert island out of a folded up leaf? What kind of cup is it? And how full is the cup? Is the cup full to the brim? Is the cup only a little bit full? How much space is left to fill more water, to fill the cup with more water? Okay. That is the last question. Oh, no, sorry. Yes, sorry, that is the last question. So now I'm going to go back to the beginning and we can see what your answers said about you. So, you are imagining yourself on the land. What terrain is the land made of? It says the firmness of the ground beneath you represents how stable your life currently feels. So if you're on solid dirt, stone, concrete, or any sort of firm pavement, things are steady. This also means you're especially focused and or have firm goals at this point in your life. If you're on soft grass, you're getting by, but your life is a balancing act that requires you to put forth constant effort. If you're on sand, in mud, or on any sort of unstable surface, your life might be chaotic or unbalanced at the moment. The next question is how close or far away you are to the water. It says the closer you are to the water, the more prepared for the unknown you feel right now. Though you can't control the future, you often take the initiative to do your best to steer things the way that you want, if you're close to the water. If you're standing further away from the water, you might be feeling uneasy about what the future holds, and you tend to be more reactive rather than proactive. How calm or active is the water? Well, it says the water's movement represents whether you're currently feeling more relaxed or stressed. So the more active the water is, if there are crashing waves, the more concerns and anxieties you might have at this moment. If the waters are mostly still or gently swaying, you're relaxed and in a state of calm. Now, when you get in the water, is the water a comfortable temperature? It says the amount of comfort you felt with the water represents your optimism in life. If you imagine the water feeling pleasant, you're an optimistic person. If you imagine the water being too cold or hot or uncomfortable, you have a lot of negative tendencies and often fear worst case scenarios. How much of your body is in the water? The depth of your body in the water represents how you approach the unknown. If you dipped a toe or foot in the water, you are a cautious and calculated person. The deeper your body, the more spontaneous and willing to take chances you are. If your entire body or head went underwater, you will take risks without planning and deal with the consequences later. You have no fear of failure. When you imagined a cup sitting on the ground and you picked it up and put water inside it, what is the cup made of? If the cup is see-through, you're an open individual and you wear your heart on your sleeve. If the cup isn't transparent, you tend to be a more guarded person. The cup's hardness represents your sensitivity. If the cup is made of glass, you're thick-skinned. If it's made of paper or plastic, you're more emotional. How full is the cup? The amount of water in the glass represents how confident you are in yourself. So the more water in the glass, the more self-assured you are, the more self-confident you are. Any additional space for water in the cup represents how much untapped potential you have. Your untapped was the first personality test. Let's go on to the second one, which will be the castle. I have done this one in a previous video, so if you've seen that recently, you can skip ahead to the next one. But it was about a year ago, I think, that I did it. So, okay. So, imagine that you are in front of a castle. Imagine that you are in front of a castle. You're in front of the door of the castle. How exactly do you imagine it? What is the door like? Is it a simple door? Is it covered by plants and somewhat hard to find? Or is it a huge wooden door with metal details and it looks a little frightening? What kind of door is it? You pass the door of the castle, so you go into the castle. And you realize that there isn't a soul. It is completely deserted. What is the first thing you see inside the castle? Do you see a huge library, wall to wall, full of books? Do you see a huge fireplace and a hot fire burning? Do you see a large banquet hall with huge chandeliers and red carpets? Or do you see a long corridor with many closed doors? So I'll tell you the options again. We have a huge library, wall to wall with books. We have a huge fireplace and a hot fire burning. We have a large banquet hall with huge chandeliers and red carpets. Or we have a long corridor with many closed doors. You look around and you find a staircase. You decide to climb the stairs. What does the staircase look like? Is it sharp and massive, like it's not leading anywhere? Or is it an impressive spiral grand staircase? You climb the stairs. And after you climb the stairs, you reach a small room in which there is only one window. You're in a small room and there's just one window. How big is the window? Is it a normal window, a normal sized window? Is it too small, almost a skylight? Or is the window huge, so big that it takes almost the entire surface of the wall? You look out of the window. What do you see? Do you see large waves crashing furiously on rocks? Do you see a snowy forest? Do you see a green valley? Or a small, vibrant city? We have large waves crashing furiously on rocks, or a snowy forest, or a green valley, or a small and vibrant city. You leave the room and you go back down the stairs, and you're back to the area where you were when you first entered the castle. You go ahead and find a door at the back of the building. You open it and go out into a yard. What exactly does it look like? Is it full of hypertrophic plants, grasses, broken wood and fallen barbed wire? Is it impeccably maintained with countless colourful flowers? Is it a little jungle? But you can imagine how beautiful it would be if someone cleaned it and put it in order. So you have full of hypertrophic plants, grasses, broken wood and fallen barbed wire. Or it is impeccably maintained with countless colourful flowers. Or is it a little jungle? But you can imagine how beautiful it would be if someone cleaned it and organized it and put it in order. Okay, let's go through the results. That's the end of that one. Let's go through the results. So question number 1 is the door. The door represents your attitude to new experiences. If you imagined a simple, everyday door, you probably are not afraid of any new challenge and will test your luck in new things and situations without a second thought. If you chose a hidden door, you probably do not know what you need to do in the future and your life. And your future looks blurry and undefined. Of course, if you have chosen a big scary door, then you are probably afraid of the unknown and find it difficult to get out of your comfort zone and try new experiences. Inside the castle. The space inside the castle is the idea that you believe others to have of you. If, for example, you saw a library, you probably think that you are a person who supports others and helps them find answers to their problems. A large fireplace gives a feeling of warmth and passion that you think you cause in other people. A fancy ballroom suggests that you feel you can dazzle people around you and that you have a lot to give. If you ended in a long corridor with closed doors, you may feel that you are difficult to understand and others will have to try hard to understand you. The staircase. The staircase shows the image that you have of life. The sharp and massive staircase shows a person who sees life as suffering with many difficulties. Unlike the beautiful spiral staircase, which shows how romantic a person is and what an optimistic outlook on life they have. The window. The window in the small room is the way that you feel right now. A small window means that you feel down and perhaps trapped in your life. It may feel like there's no way out of what you are experiencing in this period. A normal window shows a person with realistic demands and expectations of life at this stage. You realize that there are limitations, but the future is here and it looks bright for you. On the other hand, if the window is gigantic, you might feel invincible, free, and able to achieve anything that you want. Question number 5 was the view from the window. The view from the window is the overview of your whole life. A stormy sea shows a hectic and erratic life, while a snowy forest is associated with a person who lives isolated and detached from the crowds. The green valley shows that your life is calm and steady, without too much stress and anxiety. Finally, a vibrant city is related to someone who generally lives life full of socializing with lots of people. Number 6 was the courtyard in the castle. The image of the courtyard is the image that you have in mind of your future. So if your garden is neat and shiny, then you feel that your future will be heavenly. On the other hand, a picture of a promising but neglected garden shows an optimistic person who is worried if they can find the energy to take control of their life and make their future more beautiful. Those who chose the grassy but damaged garden are pessimistic that they do not have a nice picture of the future. Okay, I think that was all of the questions. Perfect. Okay. We will go on to the third personality test. Do you think that the tests so far have been true for you? Do you think there have been some things that ring true and some things that might not relate to you as much? Let me know what you think. Okay, so the next we are doing is the forest test. So imagine you are walking through a forest. You're walking through a forest. Who are you walking with? Are you by yourself? Are you with a friend, a loved one, a romantic partner? As you continue on your walk through the forest, you see an animal. What kind of animal is it? Is it big or small? Is it wild or tame? You approach the animal. You go up to the animal. What does the animal do? What does the animal do? How does it react? Does it run away? Does it interact with you? Does it attack you? What happens? You continue walking deeper and deeper into the forest, and you come to a clearing, and there's a house in the middle of the clearing. How big is this house? Is it fenced in or not? How big is the house, and is it fenced in? Does it have a fence around it? You walk up to the door of the house, and you see that the door is open. The door is ajar. It's slightly open. You enter the room, and you see a table. What is on the table? Is it food? Is there lunch ready? Is there a pen and paper? Or is there nothing at all? What do you imagine on the table? You finish looking around the house and you leave through the back door. There's a huge lawn, and in the center is a garden. In the garden you find a cup. A cup. What is the cup made out of? This is the same question that we had before, but what is the cup made out of? What material is the cup? And what do you do with the cup? What do you do with the cup? As you walk to the end of the garden, that's it. As you walk to the end of the garden, you find yourself at a body of water. What kind of body of water is it? Is it a lake, a river, or a pond? What kind of body of water is it? A lake, a river, or a pond? Okay. Shall we look at the results? So it says that the person you are walking with is the most important person in your life. Whoever you're walking with is someone who's important to you. And if you're walking by yourself, then you are the most important person in your life. The animal that you come across, the size of the animal you come across is a representation of the size of your problems. And the same if the animal is wild or tame, it represents how you feel about the problems and difficulties in your life. What does the animal do? It says if the action was more severe, it means you tend to be more aggressive. If it was peaceful, then more passive. Peaceful, more passive. The size of the house is representative of the size of your ambition. So a bigger house means a more ambitious person. And if the house is more modest, then you're less ambitious. If there was no fence around the home, it means that you tend to be more open. If what you saw on the table wasn't food, people, or flowers, it indicates some unhappiness. That's interesting because I imagined a pen and paper. So it it says if what you saw on the table wasn't food, people, or flowers, it indicates some unhappiness. The next question is the cup. How durable the cup you found was is representative of how strong your relationship is with the person in the first part of the story. What you do with that cup is representative of your attitude toward them. The size of the body of water is related to how open you are. The body of water at the end. The size of the body of water is related to how open you are, if you are an open or closed person. So if you imagined a large lake, you might be a more open person. If you imagined a small pond or puddle, you might be more of a closed person. Okay, that is the end of these personality tests. I hope you enjoyed it and found it relaxing. I would be interested to